I was hoping to catch the chickens leaving the coop, but I did not. So every chicken that ran down the ramp was pecked at by the duck. It was really funny. So I guess the duck is up there watching the comings and goings of the chickens. For some reason, the chicken standing next to her, she's fine with, but everyone else that ran by, she lunged at a little bit. Okay, so here is one of my roosters. My hands are a little muddy. Here's one of my roosters. Doesn't he have the funniest haircut? So he's got that long red hair on top of his head. I hope you can see it pretty well. I'm going to try and get a little closer, but he won't let me. No, he won't let me. Welcome to my little tropical farm. So I'm here to walk the puppies, check on the chickens, collect some eggs. This little girl doesn't belong in here, but that's fine. I did not close up their door, so they're inside. Okay, boo-boo. It's going to be so enjoyable going to collect eggs without that mean rooster. Okay, girls, I'll be there in a minute. The dogs really want to go for a walk, so we're going to do that soon. It's really hot and muggy today. It was raining most of the morning. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. It drizzled off and on throughout the morning, but it didn't rain most of the morning. We just had a lot of drizzle. So there are 6 eggs. Here it's now 9, 12. Sorry, couldn't see that. And I have one that lays on the floor. So we've got 13. Yesterday we got 14. We should be getting, if they were all laying, 15 a day. We are not getting that much. I really don't want to feed chickens that aren't laying, but I have no idea who's laying and who's not. There are 2 out of 3 of my ducks. Oh, look, the 3rd duck was in the chicken room, which is fine, as long as they're not in there at night. Let me check on her. Where is her other leg? Hopefully it's just tucked up, but I didn't think ducks did that. Oh yeah, it looks like it's just tucked up, but I guess the question is why? Oh, no reason. Nothing to worry about here. And here, a bunch of people are out. A bunch of chickens. So that's good. They're mingling a little more. Here's the rooster. I think this is the rooster that went in with the others, but didn't stay in with the others. And then here is my rooster that stayed in with the other chickens last night. He wasn't thrilled about it, but he did just fine. And then back here is my rooster that we will eventually cull, because otherwise we have to trim his top hat so that he can see, and that's just not necessary. We trimmed it once, gave him a little mohawk, and it's grown back, but he's fine. He's pretty. They're all pretty. I almost want to keep him because he's big and he looks more like the laying chickens that I originally had. And that is kind of important because I really don't want to keep diluting the number of eggs I'm getting. And this one definitely doesn't. And this other one, he's a good mix. He's a good mix. And there is Lulu watching the chickens. Lulu loves to watch the chickens. Punky's coming over to check them out, but she really has no interest in watching the chickens. Lulu watches their every move. She just wants to play with them. Maybe she wants to eat them, but I think she really just wants to play with them. Okay, I'm gonna put the eggs down and take the puppies for a walk. So the dogs prefer to, they think their walks are not to use the restroom or to just explore. They think their walks are to tie up their mom as they run around me and to look for sheep poo so they can eat it, which I try to avoid. So luckily the sheep haven't been in this area much lately, so hopefully they won't find anything. But they're looking. They will also eat grass, which I'm okay with. It messes with their bowel movements, but I'm okay with it. You would think I don't feed them, but they eat very well. Well, I don't know if they eat well, but they eat plenty. And they just, basically their walks are pull me around, see if we can find some, where the sheep went to the bathroom, maybe find some sheep to play with, although they haven't been able to do that lately. They look for other things. It's funny to watch Punky. This is Punky. It's kind of funny to watch her because she is afraid of a lot of things. So like if she or Lulu step on like one side of a stick and the other side goes up, she will run. It's very amusing. Lulu is not as afraid of most things, but they're both pretty cautious puppies. Okay, Lulu's in the front. So Lulu has a slightly shorter leash just because I had to buy one new leash, and Lulu tends to get tangled up in her leash more easily and not realize she can step over it. And Punky seems to, when she gets tangled up in her leash, to untangle herself pretty well. So, so she's got a slightly longer leash. And I'm trying to be more conscious of not letting them step on it and get tangled up in it as they pull me around. But we're just gonna hang out over here. When they get bored of their walk, which they do actually get bored of their walk, or if I'm distracted, they will start to play, and it is not fun because they play like maniacs and they don't care that they're on a leash. They just want to run around and chase each other and normally try to pull my arm out of the socket. So I would rather they don't do that. I'm going to try and keep them moving today, so I am going to turn off the camera for a bit. Come on, Punky, come on. See, Punky's a little tangled up. As I'm walking the dogs, the sheep have come out from within the shelter and they are heading back out into their pasture. There's so much in that pasture that it's day 2 and they haven't gone anywhere else, which is good because it's been, like I said, drizzling throughout the day. And this way I don't have to close the door. Whenever it starts to rain, they can go back under their shelter and go back. But in a few days, I am going to have to close them into the pasture so that it gives the rest of the farm time to recover. I don't know what this one is doing right now. She's eating, she found a little bit of grass. They're both eating grass right now. But she found a little bit and she just sat down and she's having a good old time. Lulu, Lulu, what are you doing? What are you doing, silly girl? Punky. See, there's some leftover from the sheep, but if it's a day old, they won't touch it. They only want the fresh stuff. Now I'm going to show you my jungle. Okay, this is crazy to see. This is where we are now, is where I was growing my corn. Now, you can kind of see over there a lot of the brown are old, and there's some old corn stalks that have not come down. Here's some, they've been completely overtaken by vines. And I've got trees in there that I couldn't even get to now if I wanted to. The grass is really tall. Now, I brought the sheep in here today, and you can see the sheep made a path up the side and ate a lot of that grass. But they kept getting scared. And I don't know if there are animals in there that are scaring them, or if there's someone working in the next field, because that's not mine, that was scaring them. But they got scared a couple of times and went running to the door. And while I was either inside or I went and ran a quick errand, they literally broke the door and ran out. So they will not be going back in here for a while. We may at some point replace this door, but I'm going to show you what they did. I don't know if you could see this. This was just a really simple barbed wire door. And they literally ran it. I would bet, because here you could see, they ran through it. So the little ones could get under if they tried, but they went right through it. So, because Ulysses was here today, he was going to rig something up. And I said, don't bother. If they want to go back in there, they can. I have a feeling they won't. But there's plenty for them to eat. I thought maybe they would eat at least all the grass and whatnot in front and make it easier to clean up in the future. That's our next project. So what we're going to do in there next is plant 2 types of beans, maybe 3 types of beans that grow well into the summer. So they typically plant that in early November. Late October maybe, but usually early November. And they, and that way when the bean starts to actually grow in the pods, it's the dry season, which is at the end of December. And if it rains after that, it ruins the beans. And I had that happen last year. So the beans I'm growing is a black bean, which I think is a bush bean, but I'm not positive. But I use black beans a good amount, so I'd love to grow them. And then I have a little red bean that we planted last year, and it survived. I had another bean that they planted that I think they call just a breakfast bean here. And they planted that, and it didn't survive a rain that came. I guess I don't know if I planted too early or the rain came late, but we got worms in all the beans and had to throw them all out. It was kind of gross. So I'm not going to plant those again. I'm just going to plant the red beans that survived. So here are the sheep all coming back from the field. And 2 of them are fighting over there. Thanks for joining us this week. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you want to follow along, please hit the subscribe button. And click the bell so that you're notified when our next video comes out. And if you know anyone else who might be interested in homesteading in Panama, please forward this video along to them. We'll see you next week. Bye.